calamities are waiting for us when we die. And this is what Imam Hassan Basri rahmatullahi ta'ala is talking about. He saw a man who was laughing, and he asked him, "Oh young man, have you crossed the bridge of Sirat?" He replied, "No." He was then asked, "Do you know whether you will go to heaven or hell?" He replied, "No." He said, "Then why are you laughing? You should not be laughing when you are aware of the difficulties ahead of you, but you are unaware of your final destination." From that time on, this young man became so serious in his life that nobody ever saw him smiling or laughing. And my dear Islam brothers, this is what we need to do. We need to take our life seriously. We need to take all our actions seriously. We need to, first of all, look at ourselves. Look at ourselves and see how we are living our lives. Are we living the life which is going to be pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal? Or are we living a life which is going to be not pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal? Look at yourself. First of all, think to yourself, why did we come to this world? There is one question. Why did we come to this world? Did we come for a reason? Or did we just come here by chance and we're going to live for 50, 60, 70 or even 100 years, and then when we die, and that is it? That is not the thinking of a Muslim, and that is not the iman of a Muslim. The iman of a Muslim, the belief of a Muslim is that we came to this world. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, why we came to this world. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says that we created humans and jinns for my worship. So we were created to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. We were not created for nothing. We were not, this is a belief of a kafir, this is a thinking of a kafir who thinks that we were just born miraculously and then we're going to die and that is it. This is not the belief of a Muslim. And my dear Islam brothers, if you talk to a normal Muslim on the street, this is what we are now thinking. We think that we're going to live here, we're going to die, and that is it. That is not it. That is where everything starts from. When we die, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he mentions that when people will die, their eyes will open, meaning they will wake up. When you die, you will wake up. Why? Because then we will start to think the reality. In the Quran, what is the reality of this world? Have you ever thought to yourself, what is the reality of this world? How long are you going to live in this world? If I ask you how old you are, and you will say probably 20, 30, 40 or 50 years, then this is what you're going to say. In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He mentions about people will ask one another. A person will ask one another, how long did we live in the world for? This is the mafhum I'm talking about. How long did we live inside the world? And you know what people are going to reply? They will say, one day, part of a day, or 3/4 of a day. You know, this is how long people will think that we lived. So your life, you are here today, you're going to go tomorrow. So your life will finish very, very quickly. You won't even realize. When I start thinking to myself, I'm 31 years old now. I'm 31 years old, and I start thinking to myself, where are all them 31 years gone? I can still remember what I used to do when I was a little kid. And now I am 31 years old. And it makes you sometimes, it makes you scared. This is a scary thing that when you think to yourself, you are 31 years old, and then there's only a few years left. When a person reaches the age of 40, he comes downhill then. 40 years, the scholars say that a person who is 40 years old, he is young. But when that 40 years of age comes, then he comes down. Have you seen anyone, if you go to a graveyard, and look at the gravestones, and look at the date of how long these people lived, and majority of the graves, believe me, in Dewsbury, when I look at the graveyard, and majority of the graves, they are well below 50 years. So people, if you think, and this is what the doctors and the scientists say as well, that now the people, a person will live in this world is roughly about 60 years. So you think to yourself, if I am 31 years old, I've only got 29 years left. And then I think to myself, 31 years old, and I can still remember what I did yesterday, meaning what I did when I was young. So if that 31 years just flew past, why am I waiting for 29 years? It is time for me to realize, it is time for me to understand that if these 31 years can fly past, then why am I thinking there's still 29 years left? These 29 years are not 29 long years. These are just 29. You can say 29 seconds. Because time flies. A lot of people, today we are saying time flies. Why time flies? Because there is no barakat in our time. There is no